Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, welcome to your timeless work, career, and vocation reading. I am your reader, fellow Earth sign, Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short. I'm a Virgo. Professional witch, professional intuitive, president during the Circle Productions since 1998, 24 and a half years of service at the time of this timeless recording. I am the author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. You can find a version of it available on Kindle. There's a link in the description box. You can preview it for free. You can catch a whiff of some of what I've learned in the many, many years as a professional witch in the metaphysical, spiritual, new age, pagan, magical community industry, blah, blah, blah. Go check it out. I think you'll dig it. I am also a creator on Patreon. Best career move I ever made as a Virgo with a Pisces moon, Leo rising, and Venus in Libra, third house. That's a lot. Very, very happy with Patreon. It'll be a year very, very soon at the time of this timeless recording that I've been on Patreon, and I live stream every morning to my patrons. All my subscribers get the morning check-ins, the astrological weather we talk about, the magical applications, the spiritual implications, ending with a little prayer, a little blessing to send us on our way. Favorite part of my day. And they can chat with me. It's a live stream thing. It's a cool every morning. All of my subscribers also get the part 2s, the extendeds. Part 1s on YouTube. Absolutely, you can Vimeo on demand. I love me some Vimeo.com, but all of my subscribers, all levels of subscription, get the extended readings past, present, and future. And as of late, we have been recording some Zoom meetings there, some Zoom events. We had a tarot party. We've been doing Ho'oponopono. We have hangouts, all sorts of classes and workshops, infinite possibilities. I'm loving it over there. So if you're looking for a little bit of a deeper experience, or a lot of bit of a deeper experience, more magic, more miracles, more mysticism, more Mal, complete on Patreon. Come on, I'm the Archangel of Lyons. Angelo Lyons. It's even in my natal chart. Screw it. Just call me Mal. Hey, I love Capricorns. I do. I know why. I can't say I don't know why. I do know why. So I'm always happy to serve my fellow Earth signs, but I gotta say Capricorns in particular. You see goats, you. 10th house, highest potential, ruled by Saturn. Better than Aquarians who were ruled by their anus. Let's get this gig on the road. If you're new to the channel, this is actually what's called, in my terminology as a reader, a 3-level of power reading. We're going to look at your life purpose, the work, career, vocation, 3 different levels of power. There's a link in the description box about halfway down. A video by Myss, that's MYSS. She is a PhD. She wrote Sacred Contracts. These are her archetype cards, and she's talking about the 3 levels of power, a set of archetypal lenses so you can look at many different aspects of life, in this case, life purpose, work, career, vocation, your survival, your creativity, and your calling, so to speak. There are chakras involved. I'll explain it as I go. I just did a good half hour of breath work before doing this video with some Ho'oponopono and Wim Hof. I'm calling that the Wim Ho. Let's just roll with it, though I don't live in West Ho. WeHo, sorry, my Californians, I love you. But nonetheless, it's a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs, because your sun might be more interested in giving you the leverage in your work, where your moon sign, your Venus, your rising could be work, career, or vocation. That's how it goes. To help you find the leverage, right? Because one level of power usually has leverage, right? Tweak that one a little. The other 2 tend to balance out a little bit. It's all one thing. Your life purpose, but sometimes you don't need to paint the car if it's just a flat tire. You know what I'm saying? So both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath, if you will, because here's the tea. The more you fulfill your life purpose, work, career, vocation, any bit of it, you are moving not just yourself into a more golden timeline rather than lead. We'll talk alchemy in a bit. But you are shifting that for your work, career, vocation, right? Moving it into the light rather than the shadow work, blah, blah, blah. And for the people in your life, and for planet Earth, and really the entire Capricorn collective. So even if you just shift it a little bit, every day is a winding road. We get a little bit closer. So Both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will, and I will fulfill, to the best of my ability, my life purpose, work, career, vocation as mystic, teacher, reader, healer, and corporate president, administrator to help you all out here, because there's nothing like a happy, healthy, wealthy, wise Capricorn fulfilling their purpose. Woof. Please take a nice deep breath. From explanation to divination, here we go. Still point. Yeah, here we go. Using the Caroline Myss archetype deck, I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine. For the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video and receiving this reading, please, beloved ones of the divine, one card each, work, career, vocation, 8th chakra archetype hovering over their heads, shifting the electromagnetic dynamics of every chakra underneath it, so that they get the alchemy, the soul contracts, they shadow to light, pain to peace, lead to gold, alchemizing their life purpose, taking it from the 8th chakra all the way down to the root, what's going on in their first level of power, how they survive in the world, the physical, literal world. What's the 8th chakra dynamic there, though this is lower 3 chakra dynamic. Dominant is 2nd level of power, personal level of power, heart, third eye, crown, dominant, creative energy, right? This is survival intuition. This is creative intuition, the alchemical laboratory of the heart, third eye, crown, their passion, their hunger, their thirst, their career. What's the soul power? What's their contract going on in there? The soul power they're alchemizing. And for their vocation, their life calling, their mystical power, because spiritual power is crown chakra in the center lane. No, this is mystical power, the 8th chakra dominant archetypes and angels and ancestors. Oh my, what's their dominant archetype in their life calling for this timeless work, career, vocation read? This feels good. Let's see how brave you are. Well, you've got the Martyr, the Messiah, and the Magical Child, 3 M's. Oh my God, you're just like Post-its. Oh my God. The Martyr, the Messiah, the Magical Child. We lay them down, work, career, vocation. That's from root to crown, if you want to look at it that way. But we read it, vocation, career, work, taking it from the 8th chakra dynamic down. You've got a divine family, and a survival family archetype of the 9 different families. Let's get up in it, because the Martyr's got to be triggery for Capricorn, because it's the sign of the Martyr. I didn't make it that way. Well, Pisces has a touch of that too, but it's emotional, right? But this is a divine family archetype and is horrible as any archetype sounds. They're neutral. You have archetypes of reason, season, or lifetime. Read Sacred Contracts by Caroline Myss, and there are probably 10 billion videos on YouTube if you want as well. So the shadow attribute is the lead, the light, attribute the gold, 3 atoms difference on the periodic table. So yeah, remove the obstacles. We're going to be using the Whispers of Lord Ganesha as our last card down by Angelo Hartfield, the remover of obstacles. Hindu elephant-headed god of prosperity and success. I think that was a wise choice, a wise inspiration to follow. So let's look at this. As horrible as this sounds, and as beautiful as the Magical Child sounds, as horrible as it is in its shadow. So you can have it a reason, a season, or lifetime. You may be dealing with somebody else, person, place, or thing that has this archetype, but it's still your lesson. It's still part of your life purpose. So let's get into the Martyr, shall we? The shadow attribute, addiction to self-pity. I was raised with that around me. Made me a hedonist, right? We all have choices, right? So addiction to self-pity, they're biological. I got a kitty cat bonk in my... Are you going to do this again? I had to stop the Sagittarius reading because you just wanted affection and attention and was knocking shit over. What was I saying? All right. Addiction. There's emotional chemicals that happen in your body, and self-pity can absolutely be a default, right? It can be a place where we just go to automatically. Ancestral patterning, societal conditioning, blah, blah, blah. That's the lead. 3 atoms away from, I love this, learning the transcendent nature of service to a cause or oneself. So you may very well be a martyr to your life purpose, but this is a martyr flying through the air, right? The transcendent nature, and people are throwing roses at them, right? Like, bravo, bravo, thank you, right? Beautiful. But But the journey from lead to gold on that, in terms of a life purpose, tricky. Yeah, there's suffering involved. But as an empath, apparently now I'm a Sigma empath. It would have been nice to have found that out a little earlier than 54 years old. Yeah, I know, I don't look at things. Right, keep your sense of humor, folks. Then certainly I can be a martyr to my own empathic skill, my own mystical path, and that's the thing, a mystical martyr? It's a mystery, right? You have to endure a mystery, but get up into that 8th chakra. I can't wait to see what lines that up. Let's talk about the Messiah, shall we? Now, again, another divine family archetype. But Messiah really does mean chosen one, by the way. If you look up the original meanings of words, sometimes it takes a lot of the scary stuff. If you're self-employed, this may ring a bell in your career, right? You might be working a job to pay the bills, survival, but in your career, your passion, your hunger, your thirst, your creativity, exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. I confess. Self-employment will do it, right? If I don't get this done, it'll never get done, right? And, you know, the Messiah martyr. So this is a Messiah martyr? Yeah. Yeah, Messiah carry. The light attribute, though, like, as horrible as that sounds, it's so dramatic. Serving humanity with humility. Oh, the grace of humility, the very first and the very last grace I talk about in my book, Words of Grace. And I learned it from Carolyn Myss, which also rhymes in Entering the Castle. Brilliant work. Her take on St. Teresa of Avila. Humility, grant every day, grant every moment. Grant me the grace of humility, the maiden grace of humility, the gateway grace of humility, like a gateway drug, gateway grace of humility, to know that I do not know when I do not know, and I am willing to be shown the truth, that innocence, which is going to be a big... That's a good catch, Mark. A good chunk of this magical child archetype. We will talk about that. So, to serve. Now, what do we have in common here? The word serve. Well, service. The transcendent nature of service to oneself. And I would say and or a cause, considering the holographic nature of reality, right? You serve, you heal yourself. You're healing all of humanity. It's just you don't always see it until much later. Location, location, location. But serving humanity with humility, knowing that you don't know, versus I am the only means through which this can happen. Choices in your work. The magical child, a survival family archetype. Everybody has the 4 survival archetypes. The child, the victim, victor, the saboteur, empowerer, and the prostitute. Let's not go there. It's not about sex. Unless it is. This is about the child archetype in the magical sub-pattern or sub-archetype. Everybody has a child, not everybody has the magical child archetype. So who are we looking at here? The shadow, pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles. Believing that energy and action are not required for growth. Honey, if I had those I Dream a Genie bewitched charmed powers, my life would be radically different. And as much as I would like to say I do not deal with depression and not clinical, but, you know, occupational, I guess you could say, and depression, pessimism, disbelief in miracles. Yeah, getting through the pandemic was really, really rough for me, as if I don't do it. So I relate to this reading to you big time. But again, here's the light attribute. I'm gonna bite that tail off, Melchior. Come on, come sit with me. You're like flirting with my ankles. Come sit. Black cats, they're amazing. Excuse me, I'm wearing black. The camera says, I'm sorry, I can't see you, so I'm turning on the light. So there, you got a real close-up of that magical child archetype, and in its light, it's because I'm wearing a black sweater, but it's cashmere, I can't resist. Seeing the potential for sacred beauty in everything, the belief that everything is possible. Now, I take issue with that verbiage a little bit. Yeah, is everything possible? Well, maybe, but it's not necessarily probable. Like I said, I ain't got them I Dream a Genie bewitched Halliwell powers, at least not yet, right? So that magical child in me is alive and well. I mean, think Harry Potter, right? Pick your magical child archetype. They have been strewn throughout mythology, classic and contemporary, right? Zatanna, daughter of Zatara, on and on and on, right? That journey of the magical child in its shadow can become incredibly bitter, cynical, and here's the word, childish. When you see a creative type in particular that is being childish, chances are it is in their magical, kind of creative, magical child archetype. It's not getting what it wants, it's getting what it needs, though. Tricky? Sure. But if this is how you're surviving in the world, we're going to unpack that. Good news, that's as much as we talk about any of these cards individually, because that is the archetypal skeleton. Let's put some meat on them bones. What do you say, my Caps, my Eeyores? Fucking love you. You bring out the Tigger in me. Hi, Tigger. Teach me, Tigger. Such a good song. All right, next 4 chakras down, 3 levels of power: the internal, the internal, the feminine energy, the goddess energy, heart, third eye crown. Second lane, second level of power, dominant. But this is where, if there's going to be shadow work, it's where it begins. Because bottom line, throat chakra, willpower, you choose whether to delay what cannot be prevented. And, you know, it's called the compassionate return of the universe, according to Gary Zukov at the Seat of the Soul. They keep repeating things. It's the compassionate return of the universe, helping you to do this before you move on. And the magical child hates that shit. Please take a nice deep breath. I want it now. Oh my God, Veruca Salt. Great band. Seether. Breathe. I'm Generation X. Please don't sue me. Still point. However the fun one. As I call upon my goddesses of earth, the sign of Capricorn, powers of the north, please, beloved goddesses of cardinal earth, creative earth. I love Capricorns a million miles. I love you a million miles. Please, 1 card each. Work, career, vocation, heart, third eye crown, dynamic, internal world, the internal world, feminine energy, face down for the Capricorn collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus sign. We'll lay them down, work, career, vocation. We'll lay them down, work, career, vocation. We'll read them, vocation, career, work. So in their work, they've got the magical child archetype. In their first level of power, survival in the world, their work. There's the heart, third eye crown, dynamic. In their career, they got the Messiah. I totally relate to that. Like, even if you're part of a larger industry, there's certain things that in a career, particularly a creative career, where no one else can come up with the creativity for it but yourself, usually, even if you're collaborating, right? So what's going on there? Heart, third eye crown, and the Martyr, which, you know, Jesus, Moses, Gandhi, a lot of them, right? Yeah, they suffered. Sure they did. People are suffering every day. But are they addicted to self-pity if they are martyring? No, you go ahead and have fun. I'll just sit here in the dark by myself. Or are they really committing their life purpose to a cause? Then learning that transcendent nature, really important for Capricorns. They're going to work that hard. Show them what the transcendent nature of that is. In the 8th chakra, dominant vocation, their life calling, with the Martyr in the 8th. This feels nice, huh? You know, considering Martyr and Messiah and magical child, oh my. Well, let's see what you got. 2 major arcana cards and some doozies here. I think this will make a bit more sense. In your vocation is where your revelation is. I think this is your leverage. It is the card of celebration, the card of judgment. In traditional tarot, here we see women holding hands, dancing around a central spot in the mountains until you see it differently, and then they're dancing on the belly of the Great Mother, right? Breasts in the foreground. I don't know if you can see a pubic mound in the bed. They're dancing around her navel, essentially, and that was always there. That was always there. That's the thing about revelation, and why so often you hear in readings where the judgment card is concerned, something is revealed, so a final judgment can be made. Now, when it is a major arcana card, because it's going to come up again, it's all of the chakras in that level of power. So we are looking at a heart, third eye crown. Something is being revealed inside of you. But I'm going to suggest that you really try and get up into that gold to see it. Because lead thinks Superman. Can't see through it. Gold, not a problem. Because he's a solar supernova. What is it? A human. Well, he's a Kryptonian supernova. A solar Superman. I am Superman. Mark Kent. This is where I think you're going to find some creative issues going on in your creative energy, your creative intuition, your second level of power. With the Messiah here, you got the Four of Cups, which at best is meh. Meh, like just higher, meh. You know, it's like, it's just me doing this. I feel like I'm the only one doing this. This really sucks. This can't succeed without me. All the way down to depression. All the way down to powerlessness, you know, the horror, the deep stuff, right? In the shadow, that is certainly the case. However, fours are numbers of rest. Now, the key word on the card is sadness. Sadness is usually an indication that the nervous system is overwhelmed, is inflamed, and we're not going to see clearly. Here, I'll give you some New Testament just because I love you. Seeing through a lens darkly, or seeing through a glass darkly, probably translations from the original Aramaic could be problematic. But for that thing, to do it through, you know, you don't have to understand why you're feeling what you're feeling in order for it to heal it. You just got to feel it. You know, I know. Us earth signs rather do something about it, right? I don't know, take a vitamin, eat some kale, something. Another cup of coffee. You got to keep going. But it's okay. This is the waxing and the waning of it, right? This woman's sitting by the water, you know, with the waves ebbing and flowing, and 3 spilled, but 1 still standing, which we usually see in the Five of Cups in traditional tarot. Fiona Morgan, for the Daughters of the Moon, put that in the 4. So I'm not feeling emotional upset. I am feeling emotional release here, though. So if there, it makes sense. This would be heart chakra. If this is heart, third eye crown, major arcana, this is really feeling element of water. Obviously, cups, heart chakra. Although how you're seeing and what you're choosing and all of that, I think this revelation might absolutely help bring that into alignment, which I feel like this is your leverage. Magical child is the moon on the inner, which is such a sign of magic. I mean, come on again, heart, third eye crown, the moon is, you know, mysticism. Things are hidden, things are clouded, what a cloudy with a chance of magical, mystical meatballs, right? The way may not be very, very clear ahead in your work, so the child, depending on where it is on that percentage scale of lead to gold, could either be really tuning in to the magic, the depth of the subconscious mind of the moon and reflection, right? Their creative intuition in terms of their work in the world, all in alignment and flowing through. But it could also be that they are feeling depression and cloudy, and they don't know why they're feeling what they're feeling, which for earth signs, I will say Virgos in particular, can drive us nuts. Well, I want to know why I feel this way. Maybe even more so than air signs. Why? I look around. Maybe it's the feng shui. Let's clean the house. I don't do that. I'll do Ho'oponopono. I vacuum. I do stuff like that. I scoop litter. I'm really good at it. Pretty litter. Pretty kitty litter. Gotta say, this magical child with the moon inside, though, if you have any kind of magical implication, doing any kind of magic for your work, your survival in the world, have at it, but line up. And I really do feel like you go into the 8th chakra, you go in, what is my larger purpose? Why am I suffering so much? What am I learning from all of this? Show me the transcendent nature. Through that, you get a higher GPS POV on what's going on here. Cry the tears that have to be cried. Take the rest that you need, right? Humility for humanity, all in service. And then feel it deep. Indirect manifestation. Indirect manifestation is just allowing yourself to feel the feelings that would match up with the things that you want, but the hard part is releasing the outcome, and how good are kids at that? So there could be inner child stuff, emotional healing work, shadow work, therapy, whatever you want to call it, for that magical child has been disappointed by its belief in miracles because it got what it needed, not what it wanted. Because here's the truth. We always get what we need. And when what we want and what we need is the same thing, we think we did it. I manifested it. Ta-da-da-da-da. Where if we get what we need, but it's not what we want, we think we did something wrong. Neither one of those are true. We're going to get what we need either way, but from a higher vibrational point of view, a higher chakra, a higher self point of view, POV, E-A-E-I-O. Really interesting, very water dominant here with the moon, and that the 4 cups there in your career, but the revelation I think is really going to light this up for you. So it is your mystical power, so you have to be able to endure mystery. Here's another mystical card, cloudy, occluded. The word occult comes from the root word of like occluded, like you get an occlusion in your eye, a little floaty in your contact lenses. So, digging it, but let's clarify, bringing it down into the lower 3 chakras with the Mythic Tarot. Lower 3 chakras are relationships in the physical world, therefore the masculine energy, the yang dynamic. Root chakra, groups, tribes, circle of friends, 3 or more. If you're involved, it's a tribe. From your ancestral genetic lineage back to, Cenozoic, whoever, whatever. Please don't make me do math. To small circle of friends, corporations, all of those are tribes or political leanings, the whole 9. Second chakra, money, sex, power, as well as relationships with other people. Individually, one-on-one relationships. Solar plexus, your relationship to yourself. Your self-image is a noun. Your self-esteem is a verb. Play with that one. What is the verb of self-esteem? Because we think of it as a noun and it's not. No one else can do it for you, then it's a verb. As well as your honor code, what you will, what you want, what you do, what you don't, your personal power, your gut intuition that no one else may agree with, which can be problematic or not. Apparently not if you're a Sigma empath. Great. Please take a nice deep breath. Feel that chi. Still point. As I call upon my gods of earth, the sign of Capricorn, powers of the north. This feels a little bit more Capricorny in terms of the Saturnian boundary, strong, slow and steady wins the race, determination, highest potential, 10th house vibe. Please, beloved ones of cardinal earth. 3 cards in clarity, face down, lower 3 chakra dynamic, inside out, outside in, relationships in the world for this Capricorn collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus signs. Watching this video, receiving this reading in their work, career, vocation in their work. They got the child, the magical child in the 8th. Yemaya, Y-E-M-A-Y-A. You might want to look her up. Delightful. The moon on the inner. What's going on the outer? Perhaps to clear that up for them. Lower 3 chakra dominant. This is the key card here. One would think in their work, in their career. Messiah in the 8th, 4 of cups. Meh. Somewhere in their lower 3 chakra dynamic. And the martyr in their 8th, which I have to say feels so much like the leverage, the mystical leverage. What's going on there with that revelation? That celebration is the word written on the card. Things coming together. So a final judgment can be made in this timeless work, career, vocation read. Yeah, this is your leverage, and I'll show you why. All right, so you got the martyr. Letter gold, right? Wonderful or sucky. Revelation. Heart, third eye crown, major arcana. Something being revealed, and you got a major arcana, you got the death card. You're going through a transformation anyway. You might as well take your time with this. You might as well go through the process of the lower 3 chakra all at once. Death card, transformation, Hades. Hades is not a murderer. He's not death. It's not a Terry Pratchett thing. He's the lord of the underworld. His lady Persephone sits in the throne of Capricorn for me, so I'm not shocked to see him at all. He's lovely. He looks like Michael Hutchins from InXS back in the 80s with long pin straight black hair, and I'm Anne. I love him. He's wonderful, and he knows a lot, and he's the wealthiest of all the gods. So this could absolutely be a transformation, but I'm going to say a mystical. In terms of your life path, maybe you're just at that place in your life where you're like, you know what, I've suffered enough. I have suffered enough. I'm having this revelation, and I'm transforming everything in my physical world. Or you are, that would be from the outside looking in at you. If this is either another person, place, or experience, right? A place, so to speak, like a place in your life, a time in your life, a phase that you go through, then you are going through, I would think, rather spiritual, divine, mystical transformation, which could manifest as dark night of the soul, shamanic descent, shadow work, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it sucks. It's hard. But the transcendent nature of it is like flying. Trust me. I was raised with this archetype, right? It's like, I'm sure Gandhi didn't bitch and moan 24/7, 365, and yet, look what he did, right? And there are problematic things there too, from what we hear. But, you know, even Mother Teresa, talk about a martyr, Mother Teresa still didn't know if she believed in God before she died. It was in her writings. I was like, that's honesty, that's humility. Love that. Serving humanity with humility here, right? Totally right on target. The Messiah, Four of Cups, but I love this. The Knight of Pentacles. Now, a court card in the lower three chakras. This could be an actual person. It is the Virgo card for me. Juliet Sharman Burke, Mythic Tarot, taught me how to read the court cards back in the 80s. Can you believe it? Mutable Earth, right? The four knights in the tarot are the mutable, right? They move, right? Mutable, movable, changeable earth. The four knights also move at different speeds. The Virgo, the mutable earth card here, the Knight of Pentacles, is walk. Pisces, mutable water, trot. Sagittarius, mutable fire, Cancer, and Gemini, mutable air. Gallop, this is slow and steady, wins the race. This is how you get through this if this is you from the outside looking in, or maybe you are working with the service-oriented 6th house. Virgo, hi, I'll be glad to help. Book me for a reading. I've been doing this stuff forever. Particularly if you are dealing with the emotional meh. I don't know. It's just not turbulent like the Five of Cups. This is perhaps a little bit more on the down low, on the inside. Could even be, I wouldn't call it burnout, but a place of same old, like boring meh, right? And you're the only means by which that meh can continue. Well, then just plod along. Keep doing it, little by little. I'm also going to say, I don't often say this with the Virgo, I don't say this often with the Virgo card, but it just popped in. Detail. Virgos are about detail. Our Capricorns are the mountain, hence the mountain goat. Creative earth, right? All what lives on, in, around, and through, and because of the mountain, always creating. Virgo is mutable earth. We are sand. We shift. But we are subject to the whims of the other elements, air, fire, and water, except fire turns us into glass, but that's another conversation. I love this for you, though. You really have the opportunity to heal and feel what's going on here in terms of your career, because here's the T, health and occupation, 6th house dynamic Virgo. Health and occupation. Your health affects what you're occupied with, and what you're occupied with affects your health. So if you are going through some emotional stuff, again, with that magical child, that's how that might be manifesting in work. Your career might be a causal factor there. If you're having to do it all alone, right? If you're the only means through which it can succeed. I see that if that is you from the outside looking in. You are diligent. You are hardworking. Capricorns usually are. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, whatever. So serious. Why so serious? Yahoo serious. And here we go. This magical child in your 8th with the moon on the inner has a 2 of Wands. Jason and the Argonauts. Do I go into the cave with Chiron, the wounded healer, and take the quest of Jason? Because Jason and the Argonauts. What, you got a golden fleece? Really? I don't know if I want to do that. Should I take the hero's call or turn and walk away? He had other things he could have done, but no, he takes it. But that's the choice. Now, not a life-changing decision. A choice. I would say, put off on this. Put off on this choice that you need to make right now. I don't think it's a career change necessarily. But until things clear up, again, if you're very intuitive, heart, third eye, crown, that internal stuff in terms of the work you're doing in the world or whatever it is you need to do to survive. I don't get paid for my work as corporate president. That's the production part of it. I don't get paid for like setting up any of this. No. I get paid for my clients and Patreon and, you know, all the other passive income that I have scattered about the universe, pay-per-view, etc. So you know, that magical child might be feeling depressed, but yet has a choice here. I'm going to say second chakra here, although, you know, Knight of Pentacles, this could be a one-on-one relationship. Like I said, if this is somebody, this Virgo vibe, someone you're dealing with, or that could be solar plexus in terms of your own personal power. This really feels like solar plexus. Only the magical, only you can make this decision, but it really does depend with it. I would say if you're depressed and emotional, don't make the choice yet. The difference between choice and decision is intensity, right? I'll have another cup of coffee, that's a choice. I'll quit all of this and become a coffee bean farmer. That's a life-changing decision, right? You can feel the difference, the intensity of it, the scale, perhaps is a better word. So I would wait on this. Or make your choices very, very, very intuitively, like, well, what am I feeling on the inside? We're going to get 3 mantra cards next. Maybe you'll get acknowledging apprehension. If it's a yes, nothing can stop me. But if I'm unsure, it's always a now. And I always put in there at least for now. Sometimes I need a nap. Or a Pepperidge Farm Nantucket double chocolate, which I just bought a little bag of them today. I'm surprised they're still in the house. Please take a nice deep breath. Because as I said, we're getting you 3 Matt Kahn healing mantra cards, and we're not doing the bookie book for these as I usually do, and there's only one of them per reading. These readings are long enough. We're saving the bookie book for the whispers of Lord Ganesh. So 1 mantra for each lane to help you align and balance, heal those. Put them together. You bring them all together, apparently, in what I call a paragraph of power. Please take a nice deep breath. Trying to keep this fun for you. I don't know, the Capricorns can be trusted to keep it fun for themselves. I love you all. Still point. Oh, that Mark Lyons is so heart-centered and funny. Still point. Yeah, as I call upon the Ascended Masters of life purpose through the 3 archetypal lenses, the 3 levels of power, work, career, vocation. For the Capricorn Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, what are the perfect healing mantras to help them heal their dynamics and their work, their career, their vocation, 3 individually, as well as holographically putting all 3 together. They can manifest the inspiration in the 8th chakra all the way down into the root chakra, fulfilling their work, career, vocation. Let's start with their work, magical child. In the 8th, Yemaya, the moon. Yemaya, the moon on the inner. Did anybody else hear that? Oh, it's Melchior again. Oh, is there a leaf blowing out the door? I'm so sorry. It's come to interrupt your day. Kids. They've got the magical child in the 8th. Yemaya, the moon on the inner. 2 of wands on the outer. I'm not going to let... What is their perfect healing mantra to help them bring that together in their first level of power work? In their career, they've got the Messiah in the 8th, 4 cups on the inner, Knight of Pentacles, Virgo dynamic on the outer. Even if it's somebody else, they don't have to have the Virgo, but if they do, this person will serve and help. So what you got going on there? The perfect healing mantra to help them bring that into alignment in their career and in their vocation. Martyr in the 8th, Revelation, Celebration, Judgment card on the inner, Death card on the outer. I would say that's probably rising from the ashes more than going to, but you show us with their healing mantra. And let's see what you got. Oh, you didn't get that one, but I see why you got that one. All right, let's start up here. Martyr, Revelation, Judgment card, Death, because you are rewriting the subconscious. The more I embrace feeling good, the less often I will feel bad, and that is indirect manifestation. You're not trying to make things happen, but you are rewriting the subconscious mind, which is not the easiest thing to do, considering it's subconscious. I love when I've had conversations many, many, many years ago. I go, oh, I'm sensing some subconscious anger there. What do you mean? No, I don't. Well, it's subconscious, and it's a little obvious on this end, right? So rewiring that, rewiring the subconscious by embracing feeling good. It's the difference. When you're feeling led, you acknowledge you feel led, and you go through it, right? You alchemize it, and the relief that comes after, for just an example, a good cry. Remember, something's going to be revealed to you on the inside, heart, third eye, crown. And I have a feeling it's going to feel good, and you might feel like flying as a result of a transformation that you're going from, and I do have the feeling more rising from the ashes than falling to them, but it is a general read. You decide that for yourself, but also, this is why these are timeless reads. Well, how dare you? Really, how rude. Lord Toyota, how dare you? It's very rude. Oh, how rude you like. Way too much MC Beaton and Agatha Christie. So the transformation that you're going through here, this might be actually the alchemy itself, from shadow to light, lead to gold, and you're feeling more of the gold than the lead, which is preferred. In your career, you got the Messiah in the eighth. Come here. Messiah in the eighth. Four of Cups, which isn't the worst, but it's not the best. But slow and steady, kind of plodding through it a little bit. Releasing expectations. Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not. And that is a beautiful mantra, but that one takes time. Took me time, right? Why? Because we get what we need, what we want. And, you know, expectations are the seeds of heartbreak, where instead of taking the journey, slow and steady wins the race. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to serve humanity with humility, knowing that I don't know. If you know that you don't know, you can have an expectation and acknowledge it exactly as that. This is an expectation. This is absolutely an expectation. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Leave a message. Boop. Right? You can release that. You can let that go, because only the highest possibilities come to be, whether you envision them or not, is really the perspective of the soul and the higher self. The ego does not often agree with that, and the personality has to choose which voices it wants to follow on the journey. I think slow and steady wins the race. Just this emotional part of it. Don't let your thoughts well, everybody's going to do what they're going to do. Be aware that your thoughts of doing this all by yourself, with the Martyr, I'm saying that, as well as with the Messiah, that it can really, you could be seeing through a glass, a lens, or whatever, darkly. Only the highest possibilities come to be, and you know what? We do see that later. Location. Or in the words of Ascended Master Carrie Fisher, something tragic, a tragedy happens in life, and it's just horrible, and it hurts. And then time goes by, and sometimes you look back and you see the funny. Location. I live by that, man, because as a reader, that's what's obvious, right? It doesn't matter. Well, it does matter how hard it is going through it. But once you're on the other side and some time goes by, I'm not saying time heals all wounds, but it can certainly, how you utilize that time, right, make all the difference in the world, because that's the internal alchemy of it. And also why I say that is because this magical child with the moon on the inner, two of wands on the outer, a choice, a crossroads, processing grief. My losses prove how deeply I loved. So there are 4 ego wounds, according to Matt Kahn: abuse, neglect, codependence, and loss. This feels like a child that is dealing with the wounds of loss, of something in the physical world in terms of their work, their survival in the world. Could be anything. And now they have this, I don't think it's a simple choice. Well, simple need not imply easy. Stay or go is simple, but doing that is not easy. So they are processing the grief here. My losses prove how deeply I loved. And it could take a magical child, a heartbroken child that maybe had expectations to deal with this loss. Because the truth is, maybe you were abused, maybe you weren't, and there's so many forms of abuse. Come on, what are the chances? Neglect, harder to catch because it's more subtle, right? It's an absence of something, not an action. It's an absence. Codependence, good luck if you grew up in the Western Hemisphere. I don't know how the fuck you survive not having codependent patterning, which is an addictive form. It's an addiction unto itself. But maybe you did avoid those 3. But no one avoids the wounds of loss, because it's part of the cycle of gain and loss, erosion and renewal, the turn of the seasons, right? It's just part of it. And a child, if it does not get what it wants or loses what it wants, it's a lot. And it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't, if that child believed in miracles and now doesn't. That's worth taking the time for, but you're processing the grief. And I'll tell you, if you're dealing with anxiety, I saw this in a TED Talk YouTube video. I'll never forget it. It was like maybe, 15 minutes, however long they are. This brilliant woman, don't know her name, said that anxiety is often repressed grief. So if you don't process the grief, I'm holding onto a kitty tail under the table. Come here, Melky. If you don't process that grief, it's in your energy field, it's in your cell tissue, it's in your body, and you're waiting for the other shoe to drop and you don't know why, because you have unprocessed grief, the fear of loss. That makes sense? I think it does. So, my losses prove how deeply I love. Now, we have one more card to hit the table, but let me just do this. If you put these three mantras together, well, do them individually. So in your career, you're rewriting the subconscious because the more you embrace feeling good, the less often you'll feel bad. And that's not saying you have to feel good all the time, not with processing grief and releasing expectations. Slow and steady wins the race. In your career, you're releasing expectations. Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not. I can envision them. It just doesn't matter. Although you can envision it, releasing the outcome. By doing indirect manifestation, look it up. Matt Kahn is the one who gave me those words, and thank you, Matt Kahn, wherever you may be. In your work, you are processing grief, and it is the child inside of you, not necessarily the worker, that's in charge of that right now, and that makes sense, very emotional, but you got the choice. These emotions of processing the grief might be influencing that choice, hence what's going on here. I'm the only one who can make the choice. It's all on me. Slow and steady wins the race. Process the emotions. Only the highest possibilities come to be. Get it? So, let's get our last card down, because it's the one. It's the newest deck. Of course, I'm looking forward to it. The Whispers of Lord Ganesh, the only bookie book read in this series. I will probably keep it that way. And I think this is the set card for the Timeless Work Career Vocation reads moving into the future. I think they integrate rather well, don't you? Screwy wabbit. So, Whispers of Lord Ganesh, Angela Hartfield, just one to help remove the blocks here, as well as give some clarity, guidance, and grace for your prosperity and success. It's an honor to work with Ganesh this way. Please take a nice deep breath. Oh, and by the way, I should have said this earlier. I have ocean sounds playing in the background to damp down some of what's going on in the condo village. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Beloved Lord Ganesh, oh, I love you. Please, one card in clarity for the Capricorn Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Friends watching this video, receiving this reading for their Timeless Work, Career, Vocation vibe. One card. What is your grace, your love, your wisdom, your power to help them succeed and prosper? To help remove the obstacles in their work, career, vocation, the three atoms standing between lead and gold, toxic and healthy, pain and peace, shadow and light, illusion and truth. For the Capricorns, this contract, this Martyr, Messiah, magical child contract, timeless work, career, vocation, Capricorn contract, inner knowing. Inner knowing. Now, let's just say, well, you got the moon, heart, throat, third eye, crown, so the inner knowing might be cloudy with a chance of mystic meatballs. It's my favorite thing to say at the moment. It'll pass, right? Maybe in the career, seeing through a lens darkly. You know where you're going to see? You know where you're going to get that inner knowing? In your vocation. Revelation, perhaps as a result of a death that incurred some kind of loss that you have to make choices about. Remember, this need not be a person who dies, although it could be. It's a general read. And you know, if you don't know this, I was a minister. I was a high priest of a pagan coven for decades. I sat deathbed. I did a lot of funerals, a lot of memorials, a lot of comforting and serving humanity with humility. It's not the easiest job in the world, but it gave me the street cred to do what I'm doing now, right? I am retired officially. So that inner knowing, as you rewrite the subconscious, does make sense. And he's, and I forgot. This is the card, but it's the same. It's the cover, or I should say the back, of the entire deck. It's good to inner know. Card number 17. Work, 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 work. How you doing, fellas? Catch you later. Mel Brooks is still alive. I can't be channeling him. I'm just on his channel. Inner knowing. You ready? Breathe in the Lord Ganesha, successful, prosperous, obstacle removing, inner knowing. Breathe. You're going to anyway transmit Ganesh. Inner knowing. You have a place inside you that holds your most significant answers. 2 at once. Take your time. Transformation going on. Within each of us lies our intuitive knowing. Again, the moon, Yamaya, might go directly to that. Motivation and ideas are present and untapped in this space within us. The spark of the divine waits patiently for us to tune in and retrieve our guidance. Come on. This is a time of soul searching. You are in a phase of introspection where you are drawing your attention and focus inward and looking for guidance within. I would say that's consistent across this reading. You have a strong need to understand, not just at the surface level, but also to really know why things are unfolding in the manner that they are. And I think that's really the trouble. Why? Because the divine said so, which it does not like. Lord knows I didn't like hearing it. You now have access to the inner knowing that the truth and acceptance you seek is within you. This is a perfect time to take a step back from your day-to-day life and deeply contemplate your motivations, personal principles, and values. Seek the truth. Work with Ganesh and see that through meditation, consideration, and self-assessment, the opportunity to evaluate your direction and personal goals awaits you. Your priorities may shift as you develop a deeper perspective. Take this opportunity for some much needed time alone. Are you kidding me? Yeah, things may be transforming in your outside life. They're going to change how you do this, your life purpose. And of course, that's not just going to have a trickle down effect. It's realigning everything. This is leverage. This is really leverage, the mystical part of this, which means enduring the mystery. And I see that with the Knight of Pentacles, even if there is somebody of Virgo persuasion or otherwise there to help as you rewrite the subconscious. This is a gorgeous read. So, every reading, we end with what I call a blessimation. Lovely term we came up with over on Patreon. I think it was Kimberly who came up with that. So we're going to do this full out. We do them for realsies, but at the end I release all of you by letting the goofy run wild, because you can tell I'm keeping it in check, right? Kitty cat, I see you. Please take a nice deep breath. And let's do this for real, because I love Capricorns. Still point. Here we go. I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for the Capricorn collective sun, moon, rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. May they be blessed with all that they need in their life purpose, their work, career, vocation, so that they can be the happiest, healthiest, wealthiest, wisest they can be step by step, so that in their vocation they learn the transcendent nature of service to themselves or a cause, while revelation, celebrations going on within, perhaps while things go to and rise from ashes, rewriting the subconscious as they go, because the more often they embrace feeling good, the less often they will feel bad. It doesn't mean they're never going to be feeling bad ever again, because that's just how the world works apparently, and that in their career they serve humanity with humility, kind of feeling different ways about it, but that will change to take the emotional rest that they need, and slow and steady wins the race to release expectations. Chances are this Four of Cups is as a result of not getting what they wanted in their career in some way, and it's sitting in their heart chakra. They'll make their way through the 5 into the 6 of Cups, that healing, that harmony, by releasing expectations, because only the highest possibilities come to be, whether they envision them or not. And in their work, May they see the potential for sacred beauty in all things, including the things that they needed but did not want. The belief, and may they find their belief that everything is possible, but probable is another conversation. Please don't make me do math, because they've got the moon on the inner to feel that out. The intuitive part of this, that inner knowing, really shows up here predominantly, and there is a choice to make. And to make that from a place other than that sorrow, that Four of Cups place, to clean that up, release expectations, then certainly that choice is going to be easier. But maybe that choice needs to be put off while they process grief. Losses proving how deeply they love. And, you know, when you lose something unwanted, there's not much grief in it. Your love, your heart was not invested, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be fully invested in all things at all times. But certainly if they are suffering, pantheons of the divine, my beloved Capricorn collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus, sun, some sort of loss, some sort of death, some sort of tragedy, as comes to all of us, death and taxes. May they please be blessed with all that they need, inner and outer. Do it for me. Do it for them, for me, on our behalf. That they can tap into that inner knowing. That it's all worth it. It may not look it. It may not feel it. They may be bored. They may be sad. They may be depressed. But may they find what they need, step by step, to follow that intuitive voice within them that often defines reason, often defies what everybody else would have them do. But there is that revelation, and it is in their mystical power. That's the inner knowing. That would be very, very helpful for them. So take them by the hand, if they are so willing. If they extend the hand, take it. Walk them through this step by step. Slow and steady wins the race. And maybe send them a Virgo or something similar to help them along the way, so that they manifest their life purpose, align their work, career, vocation, shifting it from shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, for a better life for them, the people in their lives, and really all of us, all of life on planet Earth, for the well-being of all, and with harm to none. As we will it, so let it be done. So would it be. So it was lovely. It's a good thing you had that child card in there. Could have been rougher. Did you like it? I don't know. The thumbs up, like it. It helps other people find the video. It's just another way to circulate the energy. Have at it if you will. I appreciate it. And if you want more of me, subscribe and hit the notification bell, because I'm putting these out when they're ready. Sometimes they schedule them, but you know, YouTube is a means, not an end, because I'm over on Patreon, and it's the best thing ever. Really, go check out my Patreon platform. It's a lot of fun. I mean, we do a lot of cool stuff over there, and that's where my magical child is tickled pink, because there's so many possibilities. So if you want more magic, more miracles, more mysticism, more mal, and you get to see me in my bathrobe with a cup of coffee, how exciting. And it's not OnlyFans, maybe someday. Come play Patreon on Patreon with the Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo, Lyons, Mike Cappies, just call Mal. And if you'd like to book me for a private reading, there is a link in the description box. A video in the description box. Booking a reading with Mal explains everything you ever wanted to know about booking a reading with Mal. But we're afraid to ask. It's okay. You can ask. I'm here. Go ahead. I dare you. Ask. And I love you. You do bring out the tiger in me. You Capricorns. I've had so many Capricorn boyfriends. Moons, suns, rising, Uranus. You have no idea how many Capricorns, how many rings I've had to deal with, how many rings I've had to count along the way, regardless. I love you. Hang in there, my Capricorns. If you need my help, reach out. You need anybody's help, reach up and then out. We're here for you. We love you. Why? Because you are our sea goats. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.